Pittsburgh Pirate outfielder. He'll be 22 in May, and I personally don't think he's ready yet. I think he's probably a good year away, although he might see the majors this year, depending on how he gets off, the kind of start he gets off to. A lot of people are speculating that he is the reason the Pirates are making Andrew McCutchen expendable. I personally believe it's the combo of Josh Bell being able to hold down outfield and first base um, that make and Jose Quintana being available suddenly, which the Pirates obviously covet. I think that's what makes McCutchen expendable, not necessarily Austin Meadows being ready. Uh, the reason I don't feel he's ready, and I'm sure Ralph will allude on this a little as well, he was rushed through Double A. He's only got a total of 51 career games at that level, including 45 this past year. Got bumped up to Triple A. Strikeouts uh, or I'm sorry, let me go back a minute here. He was rushed through Double A. He only played a total of 51 games at that level, including 45 this past year. He did show the power somewhat at the Triple A level. It was the first time it's really kind of shown up, but he also increased his strikeout percentage as he moved up a level. Uh, the thing you gotta love about Meadows is he really truly is a five category contributor. Nothing will jump off the charts at you, but he's going to give you a high average. He's going to steal 20 bags. He has the potential for 30 or more home runs, but it's probably more going to be around the 20 range. Um, what else? He'll score runs. He'll drive them in. He's just going to be a steady overall everyday player. But again, if you're expecting that kind of production in 2017, I think you're dreaming. I think it's way too soon. What's your take with Meadows? And is this a guy you're looking to acquire where you can?
Yeah, and I think the thing with Meadows that people have to keep in mind is this guy was bulleting his way through Double A, had a huge hit streak. I think it was almost 30 games between Double A and then when he was originally promoted to Triple A. And he had, I believe, an oblique injury at the end of June. He missed a month, then came back in August, played a little bit, and I think he re-injured the oblique, if I'm not mistaken. And that ended up ending his season. So, he's a guy that has off the charts ability. This guy was the other Georgia high school prospect, actually comes from the same town as Clint Frazier. They were drafted in the same draft, but funny enough, never played each other in high school. I don't know, no idea how that works, but it did. But either way, off the charts athlete, good 2020 upside, I think, in his first few seasons. I don't think you're going to see a full season this year. I think they're perfectly content if they can't move McCutchen's money to pay him for this year and see what happens after that. But this is a ready-made replacement in that outfield. I don't know which position he'll slot into. He's got a bit of a weak arm, so I don't know if that means he'll end up playing left or in center field. But overall, as a hitter, he's got power. He had a 130-point jump in terms of ISO this year. It was one of the biggest jumps in terms of ISO production throughout the minors leagues year over year. So he's finally showing some of that projected power. He's actually showing it in games now. Big walk rates usually is somewhere between 9, 10, 11% walk rates. Doesn't strike out a ton. Those strikeouts were up, obviously, as you said, in AAA. I think he was pushing a little bit when he came back. Had really bad BABIP help as well. I think his BABIP was 236 while he was in AAA. So I don't think it's indicative of the kind of hitter you're seeing. This guy's going to hit for average. He's going to hit for power. He's going to steal bases. You could be a dynamic top of the order sort of run producer. And those are the players you want to target earlier in their careers because that's when they're athletic. That's when they're speedy. That's when their tools are all playing up. It's going to help their batting average with the speed. You get the steals, which are rare nowadays, and you're going to mix it with a little bit of power. I'm all over it.
Yeah, what do you see as his power potential, realistically?
I think he's a 20 home run hitter, and I think eventually his body, if you look at him, he's got some projection in his body still. He's a big, athletic, strong guy.
Right.
I think eventually he could morph into, because of sort of the contact ability that he has, his plate approach, and the raw power that he has. He's somebody that could potentially, at age 30, could be a 30 home run hitter that doesn't run so much. We've seen guys like that evolve in their careers. He's the right sort of athlete and hitter in terms of, his hit tool to be able to, develop as a player over time. But I think initially he's going to be real exciting. He's going to hit for some average and steal some bases and pair up with Marte and Polanco in that outfield. It's going to be another dynamic trio.
Yeah, and you're right. He does have the size and the frame to pack on some more muscle and maybe add to that, power, that power peak. But uh, and depending on who read or ask or talk to or follow, sometimes to his detriment, sometimes to his credit, he hasn't really been willing to adjust his swing, at least to this level, and play up to potentially hitting more power. He's content to be a high average guy and more of a doubles, gap hitter. And some might go out of the park just because he is 6'2", 195. And if he doesn't change that's again why I think we're in agreement. You're looking at more of like a 20 to 25 homer guy, but definitely 20 to 25 steals guy, and somebody that legitimately could flirt with a 300 average. So Austin Meadows, definitely a guy that should be on your radar. Perhaps you can find an impatient owner who thinks he's going to be called up this year, and when that doesn't happen immediately, want somebody that's going to produce right away. You could, maybe get him a little cheaper on the dollar, the first few months of the season. But definitely worth the investment if you can find, strike the right deal. If you're thinking redraft, I'd stay away.
I'm with you. Yeah, I don't think he's going to have a ton of value this year. I think he's somebody that you wait and see, and if it's a redraft league, maybe you pick him off of waivers when he gets called up in August, or if somebody gets injured and he's jettisoned a little bit quicker. But I think he starts the season in AAA.
Absolutely, yeah. He's right on the verge, but you're asking him to do a little too much if you're counting on anything this year.
Only 21.
Full tight, exactly.